The cycle of belief change. Our beliefs are a very powerful force in our behavior. As a matter of fact, our behaviors, values, and even our identities are formed by our beliefs. It is common wisdom that if someone really believes he or she can do something, he or she will. And if he or she believes something is impossible, no amount of effort will convince him or her that it can be accomplished. What is unfortunate is many people often present themselves with the same belief mentioned above. Beliefs like it's too late now and there's nothing I can do about it anyway, or I'm a victim, or my number came up, can often limit a person from having access to the full range of resources that we might have if our beliefs about what is possible were expanded. Our beliefs about ourselves and what is possible in the world around us greatly impact our day-to-day effectiveness. All of us have beliefs that serve as resources as well as beliefs that limit us. Yet indeed, if our beliefs are so powerful a force in our lives, how do we get control of them so that they don't control us? Is it even possible to restructure, unlearn, or change old beliefs that may be limiting us and imprint new ones that can expand our potential beyond what we currently imagine? The answer to that question is yes, and this program will give you the tools to enable you to do just that. Just a couple of quick notes. If you haven't completed the well-formed outcome process, please pause the video right now and go ahead and do the well-formed outcome process. The well-formed outcome will define what you really want and help you draw out what old outmoded beliefs or conflicting beliefs that you have. And also, I want you to print the slides out at one slide per page before continuing this video. We'll use those as floor anchors during the actual process. So let's get started. So what exactly is a belief? Beliefs often travel in disguise under an alias. They're attitudes or judgments or opinions or ideology or perceptions, perceptual positions, disposition, implicit theories, personal theories, internal mental processes, rules of practice, practice principles, perspectives, and repertories of understanding. But beliefs not only affect how people behave, but what they perceive or pay attention to in their environment. Think about this in a different way. Have you ever bought a new car? And did you ever notice how many cars that you had that were the same color of your new car before you bought it? Your beliefs tell you what to pay attention to and what to ignore. Contrary to the old saying, seeing is believing, what is more likely is believing is seeing. When people believe something is true, they perceive information that supports that belief. Beliefs alter expectations, and people perceive what they expect to perceive. All beliefs are changeable. If you didn't get anything else out of this particular video, that'd be the one thing that I want you to know, that somebody somewhere, even if it was you, taught you what you believe. And that means if you learned a belief, that you can unlearn it. And since all beliefs are learned, it implies that they can be changed, and the only variable in changing a belief is the ease or difficulty, the number of repetitions required, or the value of the new belief that's being installed. People will respond to a new structured belief in a positive manner and use that to replace the old unstructured belief or system of beliefs. And this applies if the new system or system of beliefs is equal to or better than the current belief and its outcome. A better translation would be, if you create a better way for the person to get the same outcome that they want, then their beliefs will automatically change. Okay, so belief is really easy Our belief change is really easy with the process. I'll give you a couple of examples. A group of children who were tested with to have average intelligence were divided at random into two equal groups. One group was assigned to a teacher, and the teacher was told that these kids were gifted, that they may try to goof off, but don't let them, just give them all of the homework that you can possibly give them, and they will rise to the challenge. The other group of kids were given to a teacher and told the teacher was told, don't really expect too much from these people, from these kids. They're kind of slow learners. A year later, these two groups were retested for intelligence, and not surprisingly enough, the majority of the group that was arbitrarily identified as gifted scored higher than they did previously, while the majority of the group that was labeled slow scored lower. So the teacher's beliefs about the students affected their ability to learn. The same thing is true with cancer survivors, is that it doesn't really matter what methodology or treatment protocol that they used. The number one characteristic is that every person that was a cancer survivor absolutely believed that they would survive. It works the same way in health issues or weight loss. If you have a belief, all the other past failures or everything else that you have been told won't make any difference. If you believe you will succeed, then you will absolutely succeed. The belief change process overview. If you haven't printed the slides out, please pause the video and do that now. To implement the belief change cycle, we're going to lay out separate locations for each one of the emotional states associated with the landscape of belief change. Translation, we're going to put all the little anchors in a circle. This essentially involves having a person put him or her in the fully associated as possible into the experience, and each one of these aspects of this natural cycle of belief change, we're going to anchor them into the different spatial locations. Okay, and I've been throwing the word around anchor, so you might be asking, okay, what is that? An anchor, here's the definition: a visual, auditory, or kinesthetic signal that produces a physical or emotional response. This response can either be positive or negative, depending on the opinion of the person. And here's an example. Did you ever hear a song that just like transports you into a perfect place and time? Or did your spouse touch you in a certain way that makes you smile? Or do you remember what it felt like to hold your child for the very first time? And this is one's my favorite. What do you think of when you see big yellow arches when you're driving down the freeway? All of those are examples of anchors. And people anchor things every day, and it's really not a big deal. It's just that this time we're going to do it on purpose. We're going to do it volitionally, and you'll be able to repeat this process anytime that you wish. Okay, so in a second, you're going to pause the video, and then you're going to lay each one of the slides out in a circle somewhere in your house or whatever room that you're working in, so that you will be able to walk unobstructed from one location on the circle to another. And remember, at any time that you need to, pause the video or back it up, rerun it, and we will be starting with the want to believe space, and then you're going to move to the open to believe space, currently believe space, and it just goes open to doubt and used to believe. And anyway, just pause the tape, lay those out, and we'll get started in a second. We're going to start with the want to believe space. So stand in that space and think about something that you want to believe, or you want to believe something new. And thinking of an example of something that you want to believe. Like, you could win the lotto, right? Because other people have. Or perhaps you could go on vacation. When I was writing this program, I was talking to a friend of mine. She said she wants to believe that Manolo Blahnik will be available by ice cream truck, like the one that goes by her house every day, and those shoes will be available at ice cream prices. That could happen, right? Anyway, I want you to think about something that you really want to believe, and any evidence that you perceive, no matter how small, will verify it. And remember, if you need more time, pause the video. You can always back it up. And when you're ready, I want you to move to the open to believe space. So you're standing in the open to believe space, and I want you to begin by being open to the experience of being open to believe something new. You might be open to believe that your second grade teacher wasn't an alien after all, or maybe that mankind is going to evolve into something worthwhile than they currently are. You might be open to the possibility that your child will suddenly begin studying without being reminded, or that you'll no longer have to listen to his or her favorite punk band at high volume. Just get the sense that you are open to believe something new. You can even identify with a mentor or a higher self that helped you become more open to believe by resonating with or releasing or unveiling something deeply within you. And then that make a physical space for that mentor near your open to believe space. Mentors can be, they can include children and teachers or pets, people you've never met but you've read about, phenomena in nature like oceans and mountains. Your mentor could even be you. Remember, if you need more time, pause the video, and when you're ready to move on, move to the currently believed space. So now you're standing in the currently believed space. And take a moment and think about your beliefs, about what you currently believe, and how that relates to the outcome that you're focused on and working on. And this video was created during our 6-week weight loss program. So if your current outcome is different than that, be certain that you have completed the well-formed outcome process. But for now, let's continue. Think about this now, how your beliefs or your current beliefs are augmenting and propelling your successes, and what beliefs that you currently have, including any limiting ones or beliefs that strongly conflict with the new belief that you'd like to have. And think about that for a moment, and remember to pause the video whenever needed and take whatever time that you need during any of these processes, shifting anything that you want. And when you're ready, move into the open to doubt space. The open to doubt space. Think about things that may seem true or that may have been true throughout your life, but you're now open to doubt. That if this belief were suddenly no longer true for you, all sorts of things might now be possible. And getting a sense of that this belief that may have been true for lots of other people, but now it seems like that you're open to doubt if it's still valid for you. And perhaps it's not. You know, a couple million years ago when I first opened my personal training studio, it seemed strange to me that people not only paid me to train them, but they actually listened to me, and more amazingly, they did what I asked them to do. And a couple of months earlier, I had been just this guy who worked in a gym and did personal training, but I had a vision of opening my own gym. And what really seemed interesting to me is that when people started responding to me differently, even before I had made that change in myself about that belief of who I was. And as a result of this new feedback, I had to begin to doubt my old belief that I was this guy who worked in a gym, and now that I was a business owner and a fitness expert. So if you think about what belief, that if you doubted the validity and power of that belief, it could change your world forever. Pause the video if you need more time, and when you're ready, move into the used to believe space. The used to believe space. Think about beliefs that you used to have that are no longer accurate or useful for you to believe anymore, or beliefs that you used to believe but no longer believe. This is the space that we also sometimes call the Museum of Personal History. And using your Museum of Personal History to store all the details of old beliefs into the same space where old and retired and non-useful beliefs are kept. Now, if there's any learnings that you want to keep from the old belief, you just bring them with you. And sometimes we use this space to keep details of a learning that we received, but the learning itself was very, very important, and the details of how you got that learning aren't really that helpful or doesn't add to the learning itself. For example, if you've ever burned yourself on a stove by accidentally touching a pot, the details of that experience are far less useful than the actual knowledge that when things are hot, you can always use a pot holder, right? So take all the time that you need and get a sense of old and retired beliefs, and pause the video if necessary. And when you're ready, move into the space of deep trust. The deep trust space. Everyone needs a place where that they can experience the experience of deep trust. Maybe it's something that you've always known, that inside of you is a space where you are completely and totally safe. For some people, it's outside of themselves. Maybe it was a relative or a family member who knew just what to say at the right time. Even if they didn't say anything, they still felt validated. Or perhaps it was a time when you didn't know what to believe anymore, but you were able to trust in yourself or a higher power. Take some time, turn off the video, and experience this deep feeling of connectedness with yourself or a family member, a mentor, or your expression of your higher power, and that feeling that there is much, much more than just this body or this life. And feel that connection flowing in you and around you and through you, lifting you up to a much, much larger world. And really take some time with this. And when you're ready, go to the next video and begin your belief change process. If you need any help or have any suggestions or comments, post them on the forum and discussion board or email us at help@drmichaelharris.com. Thank you.